Greater Manchester has suffered its coldest night on record, with temperatures plunging to a low of -17.6 Celsius. That record figure was taken overnight at the weather station at Woodford near Stockport as Arctic conditions led to another day of disruption. Hundreds of schools were closed again, and the heavy snow which iced over created havoc for commuters. There were a number of accidents on the region's motorways, and rail and tram services always experienced serious delays. Greater Manchester was one of the coldest places in the country last night, the lowest temperatures in the region since records began. Cold enough to freeze food.
Woodford's actually, the recording station there is on the edge of an airfield, really, in a wide open space. So that's probably the lowest in the area. A combination, like I say, it's been a rural site. There's been no wind, been no cloud, and it's snow cover. If you look actually in the middle of Manchester itself, where you've got a lot of heat, your typical sort of urban heat island, then it does keep it a lot warmer. And I would have thought that temperatures, it was about -5 in Manchester. Still very cold for Manchester itself, but yeah. You know, it does vary quite a lot across the region. I know we had a recording of -10 in Rochdale, and it was -10 in my car and Sale this morning. So, you know, quite a wide variation across sort of Greater Manchester. And that -18 is just one pinpoint. It's not widespread across the whole of the region. Obviously, we have had cold winters in the past. I mean, I'm old enough to remember 62, 63, which was a very harsh winter, and it lasted really all the way through January, February and March. So that's the one that springs to mind. Again, in the 90s, we've had sort of some very cold sort of spells as well. I suppose we've got to look at this one. It's only really just 2 or 3 weeks sort of old, if that's the right word. So let's sort of see how it pans out and how it finishes before we start to compare to what's happened in the past. December was the coldest month, coldest December since 1995. And if we look at sort of the snow and the cold combined, it's probably the coldest start to winter since 81, you know, so we are looking at some of the coldest weather we've had for the last 20 or 30 years. I think there will be a little bit more cloud around tonight, perhaps even a little bit of snow. So although we still have temperatures down to sort of -9, -10 at Woodford, it won't be as cold as that record-breaking temperatures last night.